Hey everybody, it's Gomladex, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing the Unbroken Blade Event. This is another special Kamigawa Neon Dynasty event with a particular format that includes its own unique emblem. This time we're playing Singleton yet again, but with the Studying the Blade emblem. This is an emblem focused around the samurai mechanic in the set, basically Exalted if you've played with that before. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, you may pay 1 life. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Otherwise, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So this event is going to highly benefit all of the creature decks, because obviously if you're just some kind of basic control deck that wants to lock out the game till you play a planeswalker or a bomb creature, you're not going to be getting consistent value off of this emblem. So this is highly weighted towards the mid-range and aggressive decks. This emblem is just any deck that runs a lot of creatures. So I expect to see a lot of that. Certainly expect to see a lot of samurai decks, so I've decided not to go with that today. I'm going to be playing a red-green modified deck. As for the value contained in this event, we went over it with the Neon Arcade event as well, but it's 2,000 gold to enter or 400 gems, and your general uncommon card style. So if you wanted to buy one of these uncommon samurai card styles individually, would cost you 2,000 gold or 400 gems. So even if you get 0 wins, if you get at least an uncommon card style at random, then you're still breaking even there if you're somebody who wanted to purchase the card style individually anyway. And if you get some wins at 1 win, no matter what you get, even if you get 2 common card styles, by getting that 500 gold rebate, you are getting a cheaper deal than had you bought those card styles individually. So still a decent deal for anybody specifically looking to get all the card styles. Not a good deal for anybody else, because if you don't care about card styles, then you do need to get 4 wins to get your money back. At 3 wins, you only get 1,500 gold back out of it. So with the value proposition out of the way, let's head into the deck that I'll be running today. This is a green-red modified deck. We're using a lot of cards that will benefit off of having modified creatures on board. The reason being, as I said before, that emblem is going to make sure we can always have something out that is modified. So we have, in the early game slots, we have the brand new Artillery Enthusiast. This gives all of your modified creatures Menace. I expect that this will be particularly powerful in this format, because now if you pay the 1 life to put the counter on your solo attacking creature, it's also getting Menace, and Menace is a very good ability to have if you're only attacking with 1 creature. Another little mechanic I think is going to play very well in this format with that emblem is the Reconfigure mechanic, because these cards allow you to, when you play them out, especially Rabbit Battery, when you play this out, you just start attacking with it, and then once you want to start attacking with your 1 creature and keep making that bigger and bigger, you can just reconfigure all of your nonsense onto that 1 creature. That being said, in green-red, there's not a lot of reconfigure. So I think we only have like 3 reconfigure cards in this deck, because there's only 1 in green, and we're not running that one. We just have the Rabbit's Battery. The Lizard Blades, I think, is going to be probably the best one. This one giving double strike. Giving double strike to 1 big solo attacker is going to be absolutely massive. And the Ogre Head Helm as well can give +2/+2 off of the reconfigure. So I expect those will play very, very nicely. And then we also have kind of the big modified payoffs. Kodama of the West Tree giving all our modified creatures trample and letting us search for basic lands from our library when we're dealing damage to our opponent with modified creatures. We have Goro Goro allowing us to spit out 5/5 flying dragons if we spend 5 mana while attacking with a modified creature. And we have like Upriser Renegade potentially being our 1 very big solo attacker once we've modified some of our other stuff. Some general +1/+1 counter synergies as well, with cards like Gnarled Colony giving all of our creatures with counters on them trample. This will, again, much like the Kodama, give any of our creatures that we've paid the life for the emblem trample, like the moment it attacks and we pay that life. So pretty synergistic there. Oran Reef Ooze potentially getting a bunch of extra counters on our stuff whenever we do want to go wide, once everything has a counter or 2. Thundering Raiju, of course, being a big modified payout as well, dealing a bunch of damage to our opponent for all of our modified creatures. But that is the general deck idea. A bunch of +1/+1 counter style modifications, not a lot of auras or equipment in here, just the reconfigure equipment creatures primarily on that front. Other than that, all of the decent removal in green and red, the classics you're used to by now, Frostbite, Blizzard Brawl being the cheap 1-mana removal spells, the best cheap removal in red and green, so that's why we're running the Snowlands and the Highland Forest. The other cheap removal is Kami's Flare here, because this is always going to be 3 damage to a creature and 2 to the controller, because we're just always going to have a modified creature, so that's super nice. Inscription of Abundance being a great big removal spell that also puts counters on stuff, so it synergizes with that theme as well. Arnie Slays the Troll is similar, not one you'll see played a whole ton, but because of, again, the +1/+1 counter / modified synergies, I think it'll pan out pretty nicely in this deck as another removal spell. Yeah, everything else in here pretty basic. Shatter Skull Smashing, a staple, Turn Timber Symbiosis. Snakeskin Veil sees a lot of play, just a great way to counter a removal spell while putting a permanent +1/+1 counter on one of your creatures. So now, finally, legitimately this time, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the Unbroken Blade event. Alright, this hand looks like a mulligan to me. We can get a Renegade out and start attacking with it, but without other creatures to modify, it's not a particularly powerful card. We've got a double green card in hand as well with no green sources, so quite an awkward hand there. We're going to mulligan that one. Unfortunately, we get basically the same hand, just double red, multiple green cards again. At least this time we don't have a double green card. I would really not like to mulligan down to 5 here, so I guess we'll keep this one. Probably get rid of Dragon's Guard Elite, because we're already going to play Head Helm on 2. Helena and Elena we would definitely like to keep. By the time we draw 1 green source for the Dragon's Guard Elite, we'll have 3 out of 4 lands anyway towards Helena and Elena. I think I'd rather keep it like this. Maybe we could have got rid of Inscription there, but definitely would not get rid of Helena and Elena. Well, if our opponent doesn't have early game removal, Lizard Blades could be sweet here. I think I'll lead off with the Lizard Blades and see if we get to attack in with a 2/2 Double Striker turn 2. That would be absolutely beautiful, thanks to the studying the Blade emblem. Opponent is on white and red though, so I would highly expect a Samurai deck from our opponent, and highly expect a lot of cheap red removal, like Kami's Flare, Shock, anything like that. But our opponent goes for the Aki Ronin here. We do draw the green source out of Vastwood Fortification. That is very useful for us. Let's attack with the solo Lizard Blades. We will pay the life. Now we have a 2/2 Double Striker, and we deal 4 damage here on turn 3. Drop our Ogre Head Helm. And now, if our opponent doesn't remove Lizard Blades this turn, they are in for a very painful turn next turn, because we do have the mana to reconfigure Ogre Head Helm onto Lizard Blades. If we hit a land, we'll even have the mana to just play Helena and Elena and put 2 counters on Lizard Blades straight up. Well, no, they get to buff here if they attack, because they'll be attacking alone. So they discard a card, draw a card, and they have a 2/4 out now, so we will not block here. I was going to say we'll obviously just block, but I immediately brain farted and forgot that we're playing a format with a special emblem. That'll make that a 2/4. So we'll take that. Alright, we do hit the 4th land for Helena and Elena. Hope for the best here, fingers crossed, but they have something at instant speed here. If it can't kill this Lizard Blades, though, this is going to be really painful. At this point, I'm going to attack both. Because if I attack with just Lizard Blades, then if they do have 1 removal spell, like Expel, we don't get any more damage in. So we lose out on some damage and pay a life for nothing there. And if I attack with both and they don't have a removal spell, they still take 10 damage, which is what they would have taken had I attacked with alone Lizard Blades. Well, there's their Lizard Blades. That card's got to be an MVP in this format. Double Strike's so good when you're attacking with 1 creature. So, unfortunately for us, we cannot kill Lizard Blades as long as Selfless Samurai is on the board. So we'll have to double up removal to kill Lizard Blades. So we need to play our Sorcery Speed removal to try to kill it, and then respond to them cracking the Samurai with Instant Speed removal to kill it. So we just kill the Samurai and the Blades that way. crack the Samurai. Before this resolves, we'll fight with Inscription as well. So Inscription resolves before that gets indestructible. Make one really big helm or attack both. If we attack both, we don't even get any damage in with Helena and Elena anyway, so let's make a really big helm. Because if we attack both, they'll just block our 2-2 with the 1-3 and let the other damage through. Lion Sash coming down, another card that should be sweet in this format with the reconfigure. Plus it's pretty sweet with the +1/+1 counters. Blessing of Frost here, we might as well attempt to put them all on Helena and Elena, because that just means more counters for our other cards as time goes on. Swarm Shambler here, when our cards with counters get targeted, we spit out 1/1s. Helena and Elena does give haste too, doesn't she? Oh yeah, this is disgusting. Just attack all here. We're getting crackbacked for maybe like 5 if they dump all their white mana into Lion Sash. They can make it a 2-2 right now and then make it a 4-4 next turn. If they play Plains next turn, they can hit us for 5 total. So yeah, we're not worried about a crackback. Especially because they do have to block here if they don't have a fog of some kind. We do have You Hear Something on Watch to kill our 5-5. Looks like everything else will remain. We do get that 1-1 out of the Swarm Shambler, which is really cute. And there is the concession from our opponent. That is 1-0 to start off the Unbroken Blade event. Round 2 now in the Unbroken Blade. I like this hand a lot. We can just drop a turn 2 1-1 troop, and then turn 3 Jugen defends the temple is going to be awesome. Yeah, a bit slow overall, but still have both of our colors and some powerful cards at our disposal. Opponent starts with a Den of the Bugbear, so again, would not be surprised if Contortionist Troop does not stay very long. Into a snow-covered mountain. Mono red thus far, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Hitting the board, just a 2-2 haste here, but that is still very deadly with this emblem. Basically a 3-3 haste on turn 2. Likely to just keep getting bigger. We have a Lizard Blades now, which is sweet. We need one more snow permanent to Frostbite the Bloodthirsty Adversary, unfortunately. So we only have 2. Could defend the temple. Get a 1-1 to chump with. Or we could just play Lizard Blades and hold up a Snakeskin Veil, I guess. This is going to be a painful game. Buffing the troop to get closer to Coven. We need 3 creatures with different power on board. Could get 2 for 1 to kill the Bloodthirsty Adversary here if we block with Lizard Blades and Snakeskin Veil it. However, if they're just going to hold all their mana up, that's a pretty unviable play, because if they have any instant speed removal in hand, then we get 2 for 1 to get rid of 1 removal spell from their hand instead of the Bloodthirsty Adversary on board, which is extra bad, so I guess we're just not going to block. Go down to 12 here. No trample on the Bloodthirsty Adversary, so as soon as we just get like a 1-1 token out of Jugen defends the temple, we can just stop all that damage for a turn. Alright, passing to our turn. Shatterskull Smashing is interesting. Probably just playing that as a land tapped. I think we're gonna defend the temple, play a tapped Shatterskull Smashing here, and get ready to chump block. but I'm not going to be chump blocking with Lizard Blades, so we'll send that one in. Next turn we can trigger Coven off Contortionist Troop if nothing dies here. Be very surprising if nothing dies here though. Yep, Lizard Blades will die. But yeah, next turn we use Drugan Defends the Temple to make Lizard Blades 3/3 and Contortionist Troop a 3/3, and then we just attack with one of them. Then we'd have a 1 power creature, 2 power creature, and 4 power creature, potentially. Yeah, that'd be if nothing died, and that would mean they would have to play no removal, and we would have to not chump block, which both of those were very likely occurrences. As we can see, both happened. They played removal and we chump blocked. I can still have hopes and dreams of Magical Christmas Land. Royal Eruption, get rid of Contortionist Troop. Well, there's the Frostbite, much too late. 3 damage to a 5/5 here. And all we have are modifications to our creatures that we don't have on board, since we had to chump. Yeah, not hitting 3 natural lands, turn 3 for Frostbite, was pretty painful here and looks like it's going to cost us the game. So we just can't kill this bloodthirsty adversary.
Give a toast? I'd love to.
You can kill the Pit Fighter at least, I guess. Briar Bridge Tracker. So you can spend X to put X +1/+1 counters on creatures when they enter the battlefield, so I can make this not a 4/3 Vigilance, but a 6 power Vigilance. Still not enough to kill adversary by itself, so we'd have to double block and get absolutely pooped on by a shock. Still think it's the best we have. Alright, shock. Get ready to poop on me. Even if they don't have shock, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Yeah, this emblem really snowballs the games. For whoever gets on the board first.
So I'm a little hot-headed. So what?
There's a Rahilda on board, off of Chandra. And a Thundering Rebuke on Remnant. So we have to just chump with Briar Bridge Tracker. We have a Rabbit's Battery, that is 1 more chump. Hit a Blizzard Brawl. Well, you can kill Rahilda to theoretically not die another turn.
Come on, Chandra. Think of something good.
+1/+0 haste or get Devil. Neither of those lethal us. So we do get 1 more draw step.
Get in formation.
Kodama. Another chump block. They get the field +1/+0. Does this ult yet? No. Take 1 damage there, down to 3. Whole field gets +1/+0. Chump there, take 2, go down to 1. We do theoretically survive 1 more turn. But we're a green-red deck here. All our removal is damage-based. We're never going to kill this 7/7, nor the 2 planeswalkers that are alongside it now.
Who needs a plan? Just improvise.
At Sashi the Blazing Sky, they can give the field haste with Zerial, and that is lethal on the spot.
Let your fury instill fear.
Oops. Here we are now in round 3 of the Unbroken Blade Event. We've got a 3-land hand here, both of our colors at the ready. Turn 2 Gnarled Colony or Contortionist Troop into turn 3 Kodama of the West Tree. That's a pretty exciting curve to me. With the Studying the Blade emblem, we're guaranteed to be attacking with a creature that has a counter on it on turn 3 for Kodama of the West Tree. Problem is our opponent is on the play here. I feel like after how last game went, I feel like being on the play in this format is incredibly powerful. Especially if you are just a quick aggressive deck or something. We might be able to just keep this turn Timber Symbiosis in hand for later. I think I will start with the Gnarled Colony. Luckily for us, our opponent did not get a creature on board turn 2. Being the first one to start attacking with a creature seems highly impactful for sure with this snowballing format. Oh! The flavor, the creature on the Unbroken Blade emblem on board, a 3/2 Death Toucher here. Alright, well, we will attack into that because we'll still trample over because of Kodama's ability, which means we will get a land here. So we'll pay the life. We trade if they block and I get a land. Or if they don't block, I just get a land. So we'll grab our second red source, just in case, because we've got like 4 green sources. We have 3 forests and a Rockfall Vale. Yeah, Kodama of the West Tree seems pretty nuts here in this format. This is like a Rakdos kind of Death Touch sort of deck, maybe? Got that Eater of Virtue. So when the Bladeblesser dies, the Eater of Virtue will give Death Touch, so then if they put Death Touch onto Stinger, they'll have a Death Touch First Striker to attack with, which is pretty nuts. It's going to take a lot of damage here just to keep Kodama down for now. It is a pretty painful hit. Down to 13. Now what do we want to do? We're going to have 5 mana up here. We can play Jugan Defends the Temple and a 1/1 Contortionist Troop, I suppose. Unfortunately, don't have the mana to play Swarm Shambler, Jugan, and Contortionist Troop. Yeah, we'll go Jugan and Contortionist Troop here, I think. Which means if I want to trigger Coven, I have to attack with 1 creature alone to have 3 different powers during my end step. So I think I will attack with just the Gnarled Colony alone. Now I have 1 power, 3 power, and 4 power creatures. Pull out a land for turn Timber Symbiosis. Make the troop bigger. Then we still have Coven. If I made Kodama bigger, then we'd have 1s and 4s and no longer have Coven. But I guess we have Jugan Defends the Temple again to help with that. Put 2++1 counters where we want. Field of Ruin getting triggered here. Both of us are going to pull out a basic land now. And a Selfless Samurai from our opponents. They can give Indestructible to one of their creatures. I will... Oh yeah, and it gets lifelink it. That is a Samurai. I always forget there are Samurai outside of white and red. There's a Rat Samurai. Yeah, the lifelink is massive here. I think we just chump, but they are going back up to 18 now. Jugan Defends the Temple is giving us some counters now. How does this work? The top 7. Put a creature from among them onto the battlefield. Okay. Is that going to be better than an Ogre Head Helm and a Swarm Shambler? Probably. I guess Swarm Shambler is a good chump blocker, but we need to get rid of the Selfless Samurai. We got to pull out something removal-like from our deck. None of our creatures are super removal-like though, but this will probably hit something higher impact than what we currently have out. Wow, what do we want here? Treasure token, a little 1/2, a little 2/2. Probably just want Briarbridge Tracker. Comes in with the extra counters, comes in with the token to try to draw into a removal spell for Selfless Samurai. Like if we can just deal with Selfless Samurai, we can definitely get there. And I guess if we just block Bladeblesser with Briarbridge Tracker, that does force them to sacrifice the Selfless Samurai there. So I'm attacking with both here because I'd rather get in for more damage and pull out 2 lands than get another counter on something. I think our board is plenty big. We don't need to pay life for more +1/+1 counters at this point. They're not going to make that any bigger, so... Actually, yeah, they are. They're going to make it 5 toughness, but Briarbridge Tracker is still more than lethal, so we'll get a counter on Troop, I guess. Yeah, our plan here is going to be Briarbridge Tracker on Bladeblesser if they attack. So they are red, white, and black, so probably an Ishin deck, a red, white, black Samurai. There goes Briarbridge Tracker. And Bladeblesser has Menace now, which is incredibly painful. Menace, Death Touch, Lifelink. We can't block it here because an enchantment's hit their board. Just looking for any of our fight spells. I think we have like 5 or 6. Walking Skyscraper's not bad, but we do still need Menace to block. We need 2 blockers to block the Menace, I mean. Do we dig off of the clue token, or do we just with our 9 mana dump out Skyscraper, Hellman's Shambler and just make sure we have Menace blockers? We could also use Remnant of the Rising Star to just play 1 card per turn and make sure it's absolutely massive. So I could just spend 9 mana and make a 9/9 Sewer Shambler and then just not attack. Actually, kind of seems okay to me. Just hold up every blocker we have and just stop trying to counterattack here. God dang it. I hit the wrong number, so I tried to back out and then hit 8 instead, and then it just shut everything off. It was like, yeah, I know you've declined everything, so I guess we're gonna make an 8/8 Ogre-Head Helm instead. Let's make sure to do the right number this time, I guess. Alright, no attacks. Got a super wide board. Super big stuff. They have to like one-sided Wrath us to get in, or they just have to do direct damage with bolts for the target player. Ooh. That remove one of your 2 blockers and gain Menace in the same turn last turn really put us in a bad spot here. Okay, cool. Do we get to get rid of Selfless Samurai now? Probably. I feel like Kodama's pretty much served their purpose by now, so we can do like this. Lose our 2 smallest creatures. To get rid of Selfless Samurai. Oh, they're just going to let all those abilities stack onto the Eater of Virtue here and try to go wide around us. Eater Virtue now gives Lifelink, Death Touch, Menace. Yeah, and Voldaren Stinger. Super hard to beat then. Kumano faces Kakazan. Alright, we need to draw a card. We have to draw into removal. This is really bad at this point. Caretaker? I mean, it's not removal, but it's another creature and it's a pretty absurd card. If they put Eater Virtue on Voldaren Stinger, like, we're just gone. We are dead and gone. Does this not work how they wanted it to? Wait, I don't think it works how they wanted it to, actually. Somehow. Five, 4, 8. Yeah, it still works if we put the counters on Troop, and then attack with the Helm. We might actually be okay. It looks like it doesn't work how they wanted it to. Because it doesn't say this has Death Touch, or Lifelink, or Menace. Because the exiled card doesn't just naturally have those effects. Okay. Maybe they probably knew that the whole time, and then just I didn't. I was just extra scared for no reason. Alright, they're gonna scoop them up. I was just scared of something that was never going to happen. So the way this is worded is when an equipped creature dies, exile it. As long as a card exiled with Eater Virtue has flying, equipped creature has flying. So it has to be on the card text of the card itself. It's not that if a creature with Menace and Death Touch dies, Eater Virtue gives Menace and Death Touch. It's specifically if the exiled card states, if the exiled card has flying, Death Touch, Menace, and any stuff, and the exiled card does not. The exiled card has the ability to get Death Touch if they control an artifact. Okay. Wow, I am so happy that it works like that, because that was going to be a horrifying Voldaren Stinger. Otherwise, we're now 2-1. Alright, here we are now in round 4. Pretty unkeepable hand, bunch of red sources, bunch of green cards. That's a mulligan. Both colors here. We only have 2 mana, though. We've got a 1-drop, 2-drop. This is another 2-drop. Get rid of one of the 3 mana cards. We have slightly more green sources than red sources in this deck, so I think we're more likely to hit Augur of Autumn than Forgeborn Phoenix, so we'll throw that on the bottom. I think we have 11 snow-covered forests, 9 snow-covered mountain. And then we've got dual lands and flip lands that are spells on the front half. Here comes turn 1 Rabbit Battery, a 2/2 haste for 1. Let's go. Opponent starts with Kumano faces Kakazan, another mountain turn 2 into Aki Ronin. Looks like another samurai deck or mono red deck. Play our Upriser Renegade here. That it will be a 3/3. Can attack with Rabbit Battery, so it attacks as a 3/3. Not a huge point in doing that, because they'll just block with Ronin, but then we could Frostbite the Ronin if we want, but they're about to get another 2/2 anyway. It's probably better to make Rabbit Battery a 3/3 than not, because it's not like a 2/2 is going to block anything they have anyway. And it's possible they don't block here. Nice, so we get 3 extra damage in there, and we drop our Renegade as a 3/3. To block their 2/2 Etching of Kumano, even if they put a counter on it. Just trade 3/3s there. So it looks like another mono red deck here. We've seen how terrifying mono red can be in this format with this emblem. A Rune of Speed onto Aki Ronin, so it is a 4-5 off of this attack. Really big, real fast. Take 4 down to 13. We've got Augur of Autumn, Frostbite, and Contortionist Troop. Play Contortionist Troop, holding up a Frostbite here. That'll give us another modified creature for Upriser Renegade to hit really hard. And Contortionist Troop will be active. That's 1, 3, and 5 covens already. We attack both, or do we attack with just one to get one counter here? We probably attack both. Get ready to chump Aki Ronin. Unless they kill Contortionist Troop. If they kill Contortionist Troop, we can still Frostbite Etching and just take Aki Ronin damage. In which case we're out racing because they're down to 6 here. This feels pretty good to me. Just hold up this Frostbite. So we'll just make sure all our creatures are modified here. Thundering Raiju, pretty scary. Pretty scary, but we should be able to crack back for lethal without too much of a hassle. Especially if we get a land for our Blessing of Frost. I guess if they don't attack at all, it will be a hard time finding lethal. But even if they send just one in, we can probably get there, I think. Because they send in Raiju, we kill Etching of Kumano, they have Aki Ronin to block, so Aki Ronin blocks Renegade, they take 4 from these two, go down to 2 life. Guess not quite lethal, but still pretty big. It forces them into a trade with the Aki Ronin there. We get everything but the Raiju off their board. I think we kill Etching of Kumano before that ability resolves, because when that ability resolves, it damages us equal to the modified creatures, right? Yep. So take 4 down to 9. We did hit Blessing of Frost mana, which means we just have lethal here. Because they have 1 blocker. Beautiful draw for us. That will make us 3-1 now. But again, even without that draw, I think we're in a decent spot. Because without that draw, we would then attack all still. They'd have to trade there to not die, so they trade there, they take 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of lethal. They'd be at 1 life, and then we play an Augur to chump block Raiju, so they'd have to be able to either play another big haster and kill our Augur of Autumn, or have some kind of big trample spell or something to kill us. So that panned out quite well for us that time. And here we are in the final round, win or lose. We win and we're at 4 wins. We lose, we're at 2 losses, both of which will end the event. So let's see if we can't get a full 4-win run here. That'd be pretty sweet. This one's going to have to be a mulligan. We just have a Sewer Shambler. Swarm Shambler. I just like to call it Sewer Shambler to be rude. No. We do have 2 lands here. We've got green and red. We have multiple 2-drops, multiple 3-drops, and 1 4-drop. This is definitely not as difficult of a keep for us. I think we just keep it. Question is, what do we get rid of? It's probably supposed to just be the 4-drop Thundering Raiju. Not only do we need to hit 2 lands, we need to specifically hit another mountain as well. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Raiju. Might be a little low on lands in this deck. At least that's how it's played out for us. Maybe overvaluing the flip lands. I think we have 22 lands outside of the flip lands, and then we have 4 or 5 flip lands. What do we want to turn to here? We do have a Blizzard Brawl in hand that could make Dragon's Guard Elite bigger. I guess we'll do that. Playing against Black-White here. This is going to be interesting. Black-White with snow lands. My immediate expectations would be some kind of control deck. It'd be a little weird to see control in this format, but it'd be cool, because it'd be the first control deck we've seen. Yeah, my immediate thought would be some kind of Esper deck, maybe, with Blood on the Snow. Blood on the Snow being the Snow Wrath effect, 6 mana in black that destroys all creatures. And then for the number of snow mana you have, you can return something from your grave to the battlefield. Alright, so Tainted Adversary coming out. 2 mana, 2/3 Death Toucher. Pretty great deal. Our only option here really is Gnarled Colony, so we'll get that down. Tainted Adversary is going to start hitting really hard. The snowball has begun with Studying the Blade. It's a 3/4, and a hunt for specimens from our opponent, pulling out Environmental Sciences. We do hit our 3rd land now. Put a counter on Gnarled Colony with Oran Reef Ooze, or we just play Jugan Defends the Temple. Don't have anything to ramp into, but it'll be easier to cast 2 spells in 1 turn with a little 1/1 monk. I think I'd rather just play the Ooze, though. And you know what? I'm just going to put the counter on the Ooze, because the Colony can just get a counter on itself from the emblem. Next turn we can attack, putting another counter on both. If we hit another Snowland, Blizzard Brawl can deal with something here. Can deal with Tainted Adversary next turn after an attack to add another counter. Alright, yeah, a lot of stuff going on here. Unfortunately, no attacks from our opponent means Adversary does just get to trade off with something on blocks. I think we just send them in. Now they're big enough to be used to fight things. I guess they already were, actually, because we hit the Snowland. We could have Blizzard Brawled pre-combat. That might have been better. Probably would have been better. But this still works pretty well, and we've got these as backups now instead. We just play Jugan Defends the Temple this turn. Seems pretty fine to me. That was definitely an alternate line there, for sure. Probably not the best one. Just Blizzard Brawl pre-combat would have been awesome, but it works out fine. Got the Wandering Emperor, but our 1/1 monk can assassinate that quite well. 5 mana here. It's all removal in hand, which is pretty awkward. Not going to pay any life for this 1/1. Our opponent's been playing a ton of removals, so I don't expect it to stay around much longer. Foretold card. Could be Doomscar. Could be Poison the Cup. Starnheim Unleashed. Alright, or it could be something much worse for us. Such as that. Inscription does help us a lot here. Yeah, Inscription's massive. Inscription lets us attack, pay the life, they go no blocks, so we can Inscription Kicked to kill one of them. Or now we can just post-combat Blizzard Brawl Arnie Slays the Troll to kill both instead. The idea was if they block with one or both, we can use Inscription and then both of them die. But now instead we can just go Blizzard Brawl, now that it has the counter from attacking, and Arnie Slays the Troll. Now that it's indestructible. This is an interesting deck from our opponent. I don't know. I don't play enough Constructed to know if this is like a thing or just a cool self-built deck here. I don't know if this is meta. We're in Singleton, so nothing is fully meta. The mono red burn decks, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a mono red aggro deck. They've been around forever. It's not a net deck, it's just a Singleton. What are you gonna do? It's a Singleton deck. Path of Peril. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. So that just kills our token. Okay, that's fine. 1 for 1. Is there no sorry? There's no sorry. Usually there's a sorry for the oops. Get a bunch of counters on this Forgeborn Phoenix. It's 1 mana to reconfigure, so let's get 3 counters on it. And then reconfigure it. For now. The reconfigure makes it so when this creature dies, whenever an equipped creature I control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, I can return that from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So I'm actually not sure how that works on a Saga. I assume the Saga gets that. So if I hit my opponent with an equipped creature, I get Jugan Defends the Temple back from my grave to the board. But we'll find out. Plus this does play around Wrath effects, because Forgeborn Phoenix is just an equipment, not a creature there, which is quite nice.
Run away. You'll be safer.
Yep, it does go onto the Saga. Really cool. So if I hit somebody with an equipped creature, get some things back here. Okay, so Kumano faces Kakazan. I think we need to kill the Wandering Emperor. 5. We can hit our opponent for 7. Yeah, because we can't kill our opponent, I think we might as well just kill the Wandering Emperor. I guess we hit for 8. I wasn't counting the studying the blade emblem there. I've probably missed lethal multiple times in various games because I just keep forgetting the emblem. It's off and on. Sometimes I'm hyper focused on the emblem, and then other times I just completely forget about its existence. Kaya the Inexorable, more removal. 5,000 pieces of removal.
This should be a nice break from Ravnica.
This doesn't give hexproof, does it? No, but I could fight their 2/2. Because the 2/2 does become a 3/3 and then bigger and bigger, but I can fight that with my own 2/2 instead and make it bigger permanently. So that feels better. Unfortunately, if they get another blocker here, that's going to be really bad for us. Because now we can't kill Kaya even if we fight off the 2/2. And I guess Kumano doesn't immediately flip here, so we have to play Sewer Shambler first. Swarm Shambler. Alright, Inscription of Abundance. What can we do with this? We can't deal damage to a planeswalker, can we? No. So all we can do is get rid of the 2/2 or the Dockside Chef right now. Can't get rid of Kaya, which is a really big deal. When Dockside Chef dies, they'll get a 1/1 and put it back in their hand. We can hope they don't have instant speed removal and just try to kill it right now. Yeah, if they have instant speed removal, we do... We do already lose, because we lose our 1 creature on board if they have instant speed removal, regardless of if we kill a Dockside Chef or not. So we've got no creature, they have a Kaya and a 2/2. They make the 2/2 a 3/3, and then, all we get is a 2/2 on our own board to try to deal with Kaya. Kaya is going to be at 3 loyalty regardless. Alright, cool. No instant speed removal. Sorcery speed removal, Blood Chief's Thirst it is. At least we get the 1/1 out of the Swarm Shambler. Another attack with the Vigilant Samurai. He protect, and he also attack. Alright, since they have not put a counter on the Samurai, we get a really easy just solo attack here. And we get rid of Kaya. This is very nice. Just hold on to this land, nothing much to do with it here. I think we might have some kind of discard and draw somewhere in here. Soren as well.
You fight for me.
The amount of planeswalkers we're going to have to fight through here is dramatic. I don't know what's going on here. Last card in their hand. Must be something spicy they're thinking about. Maybe they lost connection. Maybe I lost connection. I have no idea what is going on here. Let me check my internet. Nope, I'm fully connected to the internet. Alright, cool. Just thinking. Sorry, the game just got so silent, I had no idea what was going on. Briarbridge Tracker, draw a card here. We have a Crag Crown Pathway in hand, so it doesn't matter too much how we spend our mana. Another red source, alright. Attack with a solo Etching of Kumano, and it'll be a 4/4. It's only big enough to kill one of their 2 blockers anyway. I don't think we have a good attack here. Like, we can attack Soren and then kill their lifelinker, I guess. Might be worth it. Probably worth it. They double block, we kill the life-linking flyer. We're going to start attacking with our Vigilant Briarbridge Tracker. That'll get quite sturdy here. And now they don't have enough power on the board to kill the tracker, because it'll have 4 toughness, they've got 2 power, maybe 3 if they pay a life on their attack. Yeah, that feels good to me, the attack with the Kumano, so that if they don't get a follow-up creature this turn, Briarbridge Tracker's big enough to attack and survive their block. I guess they have Cave of the Frost Dragon. They can make that a 3/4 flyer. If they have the mana up for it, it costs 5 mana to do that. Yeah, they've got a creature land back there. Meathook Massacre, well that's even worse. That's Wrath number 3. Wrath number 3, Planeswalker number 3 has arrived, and that's just going to be game. Get controlled out by the Orzhov control deck here. That's not Wrath number 3, that's... Oh yeah, it is. Path of Peril is technically a Wrath, even if they didn't cleave it, so they didn't fully Wrath us. Blood on the Snow. Yeah, there's just Orzhov control. Bunch of Wraths, bunch of Planeswalkers. Don't have a mega good matchup against controlling decks. They didn't expect to see a lot of them. So that'll be 3 and 2 for the event. Didn't get the 4-win run, but we still got really good value if we were looking for those card styles. And since I'm not really looking for the card styles, we're still only down like 500 gems, so 500 gold. 500 gold to try out the new format. Pretty decent deal. Just play around with the blade emblem here.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
I wish Arena had credits for all the voice actors for the Planeswalkers, because I would be very interested in knowing, but I don't know where the Arena credits even are. All right, there is the game. 3-2 in this event. Let's check out what card styles we got. See if we get just the commons or do we get the rares. I don't think there's any mythic rare samurai, but I could be wrong on that one. I know there's multiple rares like Ishin and stuff like that. So let's see. Our card styles are... Oh, we got 3. We get 3 card styles and 1,500 gold for 3 wins. Very nice. We got Ryu Storm's Edge, the legendary rare. We got both of the commanders. All right. That's pretty cool, because those are probably the only 2 card styles I would ever use, is if I'm playing Historic Brawl with one of these as a commander. So that's pretty excellent. Got Ryu Storm's Edge, Ishin 2 Heavens is 1, and just a common Nezumi Bladeblesser there. Well, that is going to end today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the format if you're interested in it. It is on Arena for a week, just like the Neon Arcade was. Other than that, there are going to be some sweet things on the horizon on Arena soon enough. We've got Dominaria Premier Drafts coming back April 1st for those who love drafting, as I do, and then Streets of New Capenna near the end of April. So... some new draft formats, some old draft formats. It's going to be some fun stuff, so stick around for that if you're interested. But as always, once again, I would like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.